Should children take care of their aging parent? Are you aging? Are you reaching retirement age and thinking that your kids should take care of you? Well, that's something we're going to discuss today and break down how should we set our expectations on how our children should deal with us when we age.
If you haven't watched before, my name is Dr. Nicole Diddick, and I am a geriatrician. So I'm board certified in internal medicine and geriatrics, and I've spent the last 20 years looking after older adults. Here's an assumption about aging that I hear a lot, and I want to set straight. Kids have a responsibility to look after their older parents. Well, you know what? That's not necessarily true. I meet a lot of people who've had very difficult relationships with their parents for a long time. And somehow when the older parent gets a medical issue and has needs, it becomes the responsibility of the adult child to look after those. And I don't always think that that's fair. If your older parent has been a narcissist or a difficult person, then just because they're older doesn't automatically mean that you kind of give them a pass for that and wipe all that away and come to their rescue, sacrificing your own needs in the process. I think a lot of people in the medical field assume that adult children need to kind of jump into the breach when there's an issue with an older adult parent. But I think that's something we shouldn't always assume.
Welcome back. My name is AB Ridgeway, and this is the Ridgeway Report. And today we are talking about should you take care of your aging parent. As we just heard, this doctor has probably years and years of experience and more experience than me when it comes to dealing with aging adults and their adult children. And she kind of made a great point. Should children be forced to take care of their aging children? And she said, not necessarily, because if you don't deserve that care, then you shouldn't get it. But what she doesn't understand is that babies are narcissistic too. Now, I don't know her background. I don't know if she has any children, but have you ever dealt with a child before, a baby? All they do is cry, use the bathroom, and expect you to wait on them hand and foot. They actually have these narcissistic attributes. They just want to be fed, they want to sleep, and they want what they want when they want it, and they're going to cry until they get it. Have you ever dealt with something like that? Kids don't remember those times. Their memories, their brains are actually not developed to the point where they can actually remember where they were mistreating parents. And we don't see that as mistreatment. We see that as our responsibility because we brought them into the world. Now, I have this point here. Before you jump in the comments and say that, oh, it's not fair and that's not right, just like she said, think about this. If not now, when? When are you going to give your parents the respect that they deserve and the credit for allowing you to live this long? I think it's almost a sense of entitlement. You're like, well, I'm 30 years old and I shouldn't have to take care of my parents. Well, how did you make it to 30? Did you clothe yourself? Did you feed yourself? Did you educate yourself? Did you sacrifice for yourself? Did you take yourself to school? If all those things are right, if all those things are correct, then okay, maybe you have a point. But regardless of the attitude towards you, you still survived because there's a majority of children who did not make it. There is a high mortality rate amongst infant children. And for thousands of years, that rate was actually high. That's why we get the misconception that people a long time ago didn't live as long as us. It was only because the numbers were skewed. Some people were living to 80 years old, but because a majority of people didn't survive infancy, kind of draws those numbers into the 30 to 45-year-old time span. Now, once again, you can check the numbers yourself, but the idea is still there. Now, I'm not saying these are exact numbers, but what I am saying is this. Because of modern technology, we are living longer, but that also means there is a chance for you as a child to repay the debt of a parent taking care of you when you couldn't take care of yourself. Now you can take care of them when they cannot take care of themselves. That's what I call the circle of life. Now, you can't repay a parent for taking care of you when you couldn't take care of yourself because it literally meant life or death. If they just left you in the crib and they didn't feed you and they didn't clothe you, you would have passed away a long time ago. Now, they actually have some functions. They can talk to you or they can kind of gesture of what they need. So it's actually a little bit easier. Me as a father of five, I understand this. I understand the sacrifices that I made. Now, they may not like the style in which I address them, but at the same time, I'm not saying you have to repay me, because God willing, you don't have to. And I have enough money to pay for healthcare and things of that nature for someone else to be paid to do that for me. For people to think I don't have to do it, to me, that is a demented way to think. Yes, you may have had a bad relationship. Yes, they may have treated you poorly, but this is your opportunity to show them what kindness, what love, what compassion actually looks like. And maybe you'll be able to strengthen that relationship between you and your parents. Because ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, without your parents, you wouldn't be here. There is no chance, no opportunity for you to experience the world you are experiencing without them. And they gave you the gift of life. And what is a better gift than that? It may not be the life that you wanted. It may not be the life that you expected, but it's still a life where you can change and you can do the things that you want to do now that you're an adult. And if they raise you to the point that you can reach that age, I think they deserve some kudos.